Good afternoon, wonderful viewers of GMEB TV. As you can see, we are here at the Gambia College Garden, and then today we will hear more from the principal, that is Mr. Abubakar Jallo, and then Mr. Usman Jallo of Agriculture, for them to tell us more about agriculture and then the importance it has in the Gambia and in Gambia College. And we will also hear from the students as well. So follow us and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Good afternoon, wonderful viewers of GMEB TV. As I was making in my intro, as you can also see, I'm standing here with my uncle. Uncle, can you please give us a brief of you?
I am Usman Jallo, a Gambian national. I am born in CRR, Central River, a small village of Sankulekunda. I joined the agriculture in 1971, that is in Yundum. I was in horticulture 13 years, 10 months. And when this position came out from Gambia College, the position was advertised, we applied. I am the luckiest guy to be appointed as plant propagator of School of Agriculture at the Gambia College. So this is why I'm here. We are training the students, CGA, certificate in general agriculture, higher diploma in general agriculture, even with livestock. We are training both of them. And then, as we all know, agriculture is something not only to be sitting in the classroom reading. You read in the classroom, that's what you are going to implement in this garden. So this is why we have a garden, we have a farm. During this time, let's say from December to June, the garden is going on. Because after all this harvest, we'll start growing okra and maize. So later, students will move to the farm. There they grow maize, sorghum, millet, rice, and so on. But for here, we only grow vegetables, and we do propagation, like a budding and grafting. When it is time, they'll send the students. The man in charge of horticulture, he will send the students to me to teach them budding and grafting practically. Yes, that's all about the gardening.
Definitely, Uncle. We all know agriculture, working as an agriculturist or working in the garden sector is definitely not easy. So what are some of the challenges you face as a worker in the agriculture or the garden side of the Gambia?
The challenges are, first of all, sometimes we used to have a water problem. Because as it never go off, we will have a problem. That is number one. Number two, sometimes if that happens, we don't have water, we'll find it very difficult. But now with the help of NGOs and agriculture department, with the help of those people, now we have a borehole. When Navek go off, we use the borehole. As you can see, the borehole, the storage tank is filled up. Even now water is dropping, so we ask the guy to close it because the tank is filled up. So if that happens, we'll use the tank. When Navek come back, we'll use Navek too. Now we have reservoirs where we're storing our water. When Navek go off, students will just take their bucket and watering cans, take water from the reservoir and water their beds.
Definitely, that is an add-up to the agriculture.
So we are very happy by the help of agriculture department, because sometimes the Director General Agriculture, they used to give us watering can, spades, hand trowel, and so on, because we are training their students. We used to have that help from them.
Okay, thank you so much, Uncle, for giving all those things. We definitely know agriculture being the backbone of our country, as everybody knows that. So what are some of the words you will tell to people, let's say the NGOs, in all the investors there to invest in agricultural, or the government itself? What are some of the words you would encourage them to?
Well, we are appealing to the NGOs, government, individuals, philanthropists, because we are training. We are training bunch of students, different levels. CGA General Agriculture, higher diploma General Agriculture. We don't have enough tools. And sometimes we will need polythene pots where we are growing our mangoes, guavas, and so on. So definitely we need help so that, and we will need a seeds, different seeds, cabbage, carrots, bitter tomatoes, onion, so many things we need it in the garden. So we are appealing to the government, especially Ministry of Agriculture, philanthropists, NGOs, individuals. We are even thinking of inviting the parliamentarians to come and see so that we can get help from them. Especially the parliamentarian, the agriculture people, those who are responsible for agriculture. We are appealing to them to come and see what we, because we our own Gambians girls. So we
definitely, that's a good one. As you can all see, that was Usman Jallo rather, and then they are doing a very great job at the Gambia College Agricultural Garden. And then I'm saying a very big thank you. As you can all hear from them, they really need support from you guys. If you can help the philanthropists, the Ministry of Agriculture, and then thank you so much, Uncle, for those wonderful words. Okay, viewers of GMB TV, don't forget we are at the Gambia College Agricultural Garden, and then as you can all see, I'm standing here with one gentleman. So, Mr. Gentleman, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, okay. Good afternoon. My name is Mr. Mamadi Jane. I was born in Kantawatabokoro, Same District, Sierra North. And one can say I did all my primary school at Karantaba. Then I moved to Bansan Junior School. Then from Bansan, then I moved to Bakote, called SOS Senior Secondary School. Then from there, I did a 2-year program here, horticultural program, 2 years. Then I proceeded to do certificate in general agriculture, CGA, and I also did higher diploma in agriculture from 2016 to 2018. So currently, I'm here as an assistant gardener and also a lecturer to the students here, those who are doing agriculture, and also at the education side, those who are majoring agriculture.
Okay, Mr. Jane, thank you so much for that brief introduction of yourself. As we know, you are being the assistant, you are being a lecturer in the agricultural field. What are some of the challenges you face when, students come into the garden and then watering of the beds? You know, we must have unserious students. So, what are some of the challenges you face?
Yeah, that's why here, as far as production is concerned, we first of all start with clearing. From clearing, we move to demarcation. Before we demarcate, students has to bring their pegs, and that the pegs has to be sharpened. Then from there, we demarcate this area into beds. As you can see, each student is occupying a bed here. Then after, when their beds are given to them, they have to prepare their beds, and normally they either transplant or sow. Then each bed will also have a signboard. So we just have a marking format whereby, so as I always tell them, I just mark their bed based on the condition I find their beds. So it's not like, you just sit in your house, you mark, give them grades or like, it's not like that. So I have to move from one bed to the other to mark their performance, and in that also I have to check the watering, I have to check whether the beds get manured, and the crop performance also. So those are the areas that I observe, then I give grace to the students.
Okay, thank you. Definitely, it requires a very huge process in the agricultural field. So what are some of, let's say, the problems you face? You know, the one I asked was the problem you face with the students. So what are some of the problems you face when it comes to fertilizers, and then NAVEC is not stable? So what are some of the challenges you face when it comes to the overall view of agriculture?
Yeah, when it comes to the problems that we normally face here, it's just like tools, because some problems of tools, and as you can see also water also, because as you can see the bowl that we have now, we have to connect it to the current, whereby the moment we have NAVEC power is on, we'll have water, but when that is off, then eventually we will not have water. So sometimes you do have challenges on that, But for the tools also is our concern. But sometimes the school also help us some tools, and we also get it from outside from time to time.
So, Mr. Jane, what will be your last word to the people out there, like the people like me who take agriculture to be like, agriculture is for only those who don't go to school? What will be your last word to those people in order to encourage them to invest in agriculture or start working as an agriculturist or agricultural student?
Yeah, the word that I have for those people is that, agric is a field whereby something that you need to like it and it need to be part of you. Because even my students, what I normally told them, this is not like, you just want to learn or just to get papers and go home with it. No, agric is basically practical. Yes, you have to be practical oriented. Then if you want to do agriculture, and agriculture too now is a business. So there are a lot of things that you can gain from it. But it is something that you have to be part of you. You need to like it. Yes, normally you don't like it, then you cannot do it. And you need to be also somebody who is willing, because as we can all know now, agriculture, without agriculture is a problem. All this increase of commodities and stuff like that is because of what people are not going much in agriculture. That's why. But otherwise, if at all we are all willing and we are all doing something, I'm sure we can able to even feed ourselves.
Definitely, as you can all hear from Mr. Jan, a lecturer of the agricultural science today, he say you can only do agriculture if you want to do it. It must be part of you in order to do agriculture. So, Mr. Jan, we are saying a very big thank you for your time. Thank you so much. Good afternoon once again, viewers of GMEB TV. As you know, today we are at the Gambia College Agricultural Garden, and then as you can also see, I'm standing here with a senior man. Senior man, can you please introduce yourself? A brief introduction of yourself.
Thank you very much. My name's Musa Sise. I'm currently the head of farms and gardens at Gambia College under the School of Agriculture. Though a lot of people knew me as the director of finance, but I'm just been recently redeployed to the School of Agriculture as head of farms and gardens.
Okay, as you can all hear him, he's Mr. Sise. Mr. Sise, for me, I know you've been an accountant. So what motivates you to move from the accounting part to the agricultural part?
Thank you very much. Farming has always been a hobby for me. Since I started work, even before I started work anyway, with Gambia College, I've been doing small farming as a business. As I start working with Gambia College, I started partnering with the Farm and Agri Department and School of Agriculture to engage in small researches and small ways and means of improving the techniques of how to do our work in the farm and the gardens. That is the reason why, since I started work here, they realized that this man is much more very active with agri and agri techniques, and what he is suggesting to us and what his collaboration with us has been very much beneficial to us. So that's why the management of Gambia decided that, okay, since he is very much passionate about agriculture, let us move him to the agri department or agri school, so that he will be heading the farms and gardens, so that he can bring in much needed impetus for improvements.
As you can all hear, what motivates him to move from the agricultural part, the accountant part, to the agricultural part. So, Mr. Sise, can you please give a motivation to those people out there who are doing accounting and at the same time agriculture, but are more serious on the accountant part than the agricultural part? What could be your advice to all those students watching us? You know, agriculture and accountancy is part of the Gambia College majoring issue. So, what could be your advice?
Thank you very much. Well, agriculture is life. Accountancy is service. So give much more attention to agriculture so that that agriculturalist can give work to the accountant. Without the agriculturalist, the accountant will not be there, because that accountant have to be fed coming from agriculture. That accountant have to be given a job, that is distribution or accounting for something, and that is coming from agriculture. If you are accounting for something, you have to produce something first before accounting for it. So go for production and then later accounting. So if you want to stay healthy and you want to be very much productive in life, start with agriculture. You will definitely move yourself and the institution you are working with and the nation at large.
Definitely. And then to all my wonderful viewers out there, as you can hear what Mr. Cisse said, you must go for production before going for service. And then Mr. Cisse, we are saying a very big thank you for those wonderful words of motivation. I guess they will learn from it. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, wonderful viewers. Once again, as you can all see, I'm standing here with a lady. So madam, can you please introduce yourself?
Well, thank you for having me. I am Fatou F. Gassama, the president of SASA, Student Association of School of Agriculture.
Okay, madam, thank you so much, Madam Fatou Gassama. So what we are going to do, Madam Fatou Gassama is going to take us around the agricultural garden of agriculture of the School of Agriculture in the Gambia College. So madam, can you please come with us to show us most about the birds and the what are some of the things you people do here in the agriculture?
We can kickstart.
Okay, madam, what is this for those of us who don't know? What is this?
Yeah, what I would say, this is the garden for students of School of Agriculture. When we say School of Agriculture, we have different programs within the School of Agriculture, but each student have your own bed here to take care of. So we have different vegetables within the area. You can see we have carrots, we have lettuce, we have garden egg, you can see onions around. So there are different varieties of products that are found within the garden. So each student is attached to a bed. You can see we have different sides of the bed.
I'm seeing paper spaced all around.
Yeah, that is just to label the bed, which student own it, which kind of variety is the product. So you can see, as I said, we have different products. The variety of bitter tomato differs from that of the carrot and the eggplants. So each student is taken care of, and the length of this bed is like 5 by 1 meter.
Definitely, when you look at the garden, it's like the garden is being divided into two different parts. So this part that we are standing is it belongs to.
No, you can say, as I said, sometimes a class will have different products depending on how the plot is demarcated. You can see the reason why you are able to see the segmentations is like the demarcation have been done properly. So each area have its own product. This row is embedded with the cabbage, and you have a carrot, you have the bitter tomato for a row, the I don't know how to call it, the eggplant also in that other segment. So it is all been segmented in their own area. Each producer have a target. So the target is what they are following and segmenting the bed. We have the other side around the mango tree, which is having only tomato. Tomatoes are the only ones that have been grown in there.
Okay, madam, I definitely know, and we also know working with your fellow students is not easy. So you've been the president of SASA. What are some of the challenges you face?
Yeah, what I will say is working with human beings itself is not an easy task. But what you are to do is to adapt, show them the right way. I have been fortunate before the Gambia College to be exposed to this kind of things. So I think it is part of me. So any challenges that have been involved, I know how to tackle it in my own way. We still move on. We try to cheer each other in order to do our production. Because at the end of the day, what we want is bumper harvest and a good production. Not only to produce, but each student have to know what you are doing. That is the main reason why this garden is established. Not only for you to produce, but you have to know what you are doing. You have to know what is embedded in what you are to do. The cultural practices, all what are involved, you should know it. The maturity date, which one will it be due, when should you apply manure, when should you weed. All you have to be involved in it directly in order for you to be able to know what you are doing.
Okay, thank you so much. As you can all hear from her, it's very important, as we all know, agriculture is very important in the Gambian economic. So what could be, let's say, your last word to your fellow students in order to hold their practicals? As you know, agriculture is not only been in the class, it also involve practical part. So what could be your last words to your fellow students?
What I will encourage them is to work harder, let them do this often, because agriculture you can steal or you can snitch in. What you have to do, you have to encourage yourself, you have to have passion for it. You should always be dedicated in whatsoever you are doing. As far as you sign this course to be involved in, then you have to be ready for it. So I urge them all to come together. We do it together. We develop our school and also develop the country. No one can go without food. So we have it here. We are to produce.
As you can hear from her, no one can go without food. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much once again, viewers. This is GMEB TV. Today we are here at the School of Agricultural's main farmland or garden, if you want to call it. We are here with our, of course, able boss. First, let's allow him to introduce himself to you. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah.
A brief introduction of who you are. We know you are our boss. People out there who always try to follow us would love to know who we're talking to.
Yeah, you're speaking to Mr. Abubakar Jallo. I'm the principal of the Gambia College. But today I'm presenting myself also at a different level. I'm a PhD candidate at the University of the Gambia School of Agriculture, doing my PhD in agronomy, specializing in horticulture.
So when we talk about principal of Gambia College, is one of our bigger institutions, especially when it comes to education in the country, heading that one. But on this category, you are here as a student, would one might call it?
Yes, I happen to wear the two caps, exactly. The biggest tertiary institution in this country and the oldest for that matter, and also undergoing my PhD as a student. So currently, where I'm standing here, when I'm standing here, I see myself as a student.
Yeah, but Mr. Kamara, you must be quite energetic. Sorry, Mr. Jallo, you must be quite energetic as a principal of the Gambia College. At the same time, as student, how hectic has this been for you, especially in your course?
Yeah, it is not very easy, especially studying at the PhD level. It requires a lot of work, but thank God that we are able to juggle between full-time job of running the biggest tertiary institution and also trying to meet deadlines as far as the production of crops are concerned.
And today we are in a garden. We are seeing some of these varieties. Tell us where we are right now. What is this all about?
Yeah, currently you are on my trial site. As you know, I told you in the beginning that I'm doing my PhD in agronomy, specializing in horticulture. And I am looking at the effects of NPK and poultry manure on the growth, yield, and fruit quality of eggplants, so that I'll be able to inform future farmers as to when they want to grow eggplant, what is best for them.
You are a master, especially to us who are under your purview here at the Gambia College. We assume that you could have already done this within the square meter of the classroom. What's important of taking you, someone like you, on the field, doing it by yourself? What's the difference between this theoretical and practical aspect?
Yeah, as potential scientists, we must be able to do our work using experimental and evidence-based data, because if you just talk about, of course we know that poultry manure have certain values, NPK has certain values. We know that people have done research on this thing, but hardly would you be able to see Gambian-based research. And as agriculturalists, we must do things on our own, see it, and be able to analyze the results. And this is one of it.
All right, now we come down to this particular experiment or whatsoever you call it on your beds here. What type of beds do we have here? What are the varieties that you are trying to test here?
Yeah, as I told you, the number of beds that we have here, they are 20 in number.
20?
Yes. So they are divided into blocks or replicas. So we have rep 1, rep 2, rep 3, rep 4. And each of those reps have 5 beds. Okay. So 4 times 5 makes it 20. But on each of those 5 beds, it's for each of the reps, there is 5 different treatments.
one of the 5 is a control where nothing is applied. So we have 5 different treatments, and it's replicated 4 times. And this was also done last year. This is not the first time I'm doing it. I'm repeating the same trial that I did last year to try to confirm whether what the results that I have last year would be similar or would be different from this year's result, for reliability and validity of data sake. So that is why we need to, in addition to replicating it, we also repeated the same replications last year. So that will give us some concrete evidence that we can say, we can draw from our data as far as this practical is concerned.
Like you said, Mr. Jallo, the reps are already been labeled, and we can see some papers on the labeling on the paper, sorry. Is it that every rep have a specific thing that you are testing, or all the reps are testing one thing?
Yeah, the reps are testing the same, that rep 1 is testing the same thing that is rep 2 is testing. What each of the beds, as I told you, is given a different treatment.
Okay.
On that particular rep. So there are 5 treatments.
Okay.
So that's why in each of the reps you will have 5 beds. For instance, rep 5 is the control. That is where I have not applied chemical fertilizer, I have not applied NPK, I just use the normal soil. But before you do that, even in the beginning, what you will do is you will take your soil and do soil analysis to know the type of soil that you are using, both looking at the chemical and physical structure of the soil. So you take soil samples and do the first before adding anything. Then rep 2 is where you...
So in rep 1 per se, it means you are just trying first thing, like we said, you test the soil sample. It means as an agriculturist, you don't just need a space, any kind of space, do any kind of cultivation there. You need to know the type of soil and the type of crop you're growing.
Yeah, because it's important that you know the type of soil, because when you are advising farmers eventually, as far as data is concerned, you will base it on the type of soil that you have, because the way the treatments respond here may be different from, let's say, if you have a clay soil or a completely sandy soil. So depending on the type of soil that you have, then for me, when I'm going to talk about my data, I'll also make reference to the type of soil that I have. What was the nutritional quality of the soil before transplanting? What is the nutritional value after I have applied the chemicals? Then there are a lot of parameters that I will take into consideration, so that when I'm advising, I would say, based on this type of soil, this is the expected yield and quality of fruits that you will have.
I'm sure the young and upcoming aspirants who want to become agriculturalists will be learning a lot from this interview. Let's move to rep 2. After knowing the sample already, we know about rep 1. On rep 2, what are you checking?
No, as I said, rep 1 have 5 beds. So let me just explain how the 5 beds would go. Then you will now just transfer it to the rest of the reps. Yeah. So bed 1, which is plot 1. If you look at the label, you will see I will put rep 1, plot 1, rep 2, plot 2, and treatment. So the treatments are also they are all randomized. So in other words, what I'm doing is I'm doing a randomized randomized complete block design. That is my experimental design. So it's not that they follow in a particular pattern as far as this. So the numbers are randomly selected. I'm just using, like, for example's sake, I'm saying, let's say, this is rep 4, the one that we are facing. It's called rep 4, and this is plot 1. So, for instance, rep 1, plot 1, the sample that you will have there, I think, is sample 3. This thing, the treatment 3. Treatment 3 is a combination of NPK and poultry. Yeah.
NPK
and poultry. Okay. So, at the normal rate. So, NPK at 125 kilogram per ton and per hectare, and poultry manure at 10 tons per hectare.
So meaning all of them are measured in quantity.
The area. You calculate the area of land that you have, because
there must be some mathematics in agriculture.
Agriculture is a science, and obviously you need physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics. That is needed. In fact, we are the hub of the sciences. Agriculture is where all the sciences meet. Because I told you in the beginning that you have to do a chemical analysis. So you must know the nutrients that are available in the soil. You have to know soil physics, because even to be able to water and to calculate evapotranspiration, there is a lot of physics going on. So you must, plants are biological, so they are living things, so biology comes in. Calculating the size of this plot and then be able to extrapolate how the quantity that you will need per hectare and be able to make those judgments. So you need all those scientific subjects in agriculture to be able to advise the farmers and come up with whether your production has been economical or not.
All right, so like you said, this is seemingly a second year in consecutive that you are trying to test. So far, so good as at now. Have you realized any difference compared to that of last year's results?
Yeah, I've not finished collecting my data as far as this year is concerned, but as of last year, the data that I collected show a significant difference as far as the treatments are concerned. Because what you do an on-over test to be able to check the level of significance as far as the results are concerned. So it's not only the raw data. These are scientific research. It's not normal day-to-day where you just go and weigh your crops and then come and say this one has 10 kilos or 5 kilos. You must also test the significance. So what you will do is you will be collecting your data either on a weekly basis or on fortnightly basis, because I have different parameters that I'm collecting. I'm collecting the height of the plant, I'm collecting the stem girth, I'm collecting the fruits, the diameter, I'm collecting fruit length, I'm collecting the weight of the fruit. So all that, then I compare treatment 1 with treatment 2 against treatment 3, against treatment 4, against treatment 5. Then when you look at that for each of the replications, then you will be able to know whether applying fertilizer NPK alone gives you more yield than if you combine NPK with poultry manure, or if you double the dose. So let me just explain what the treatment that
would be very interesting, because like I said, sometimes you see a plant that is taller and you see a shorter one, but perhaps the shorter one will give you better yield, and sometimes it could be the opposite. Like we are seeing plot 1 here in this 4 side here, we're seeing some kind of yellowish leaves while the other one seems to be a little bit darker. So we've seen some differences. To us who are premature in the system, want to know, like you're about to say, the mixtures.
Yeah, in one of the treatments that I'm giving, as I told you, that one would be control where you don't apply anything. Yeah. Another one you will apply only NPK at the normal rate of 125 kilogram per ton per hectare rather. Then the other one you will apply only poultry manure at 10 tons, the normal rate at 10 tons per hectare. Okay. Then the fourth one you will combine NPK and poultry manure using the normal rate of 125 kilogram per hectare and 10 tons per hectare. Then the other one, I'm doubling the rate, the recommended rate. Okay. So instead of putting 125 kilogram per hectare, I'm using now 250 kilogram per hectare and 20 tons per hectare. So I'm putting more food than the recommended rate. So I will look at the results to see whether adding more nutrients to the soil will actually give you a significantly improvement in the yield, or whether you are just wasting your resources by putting in more fertilizer. So whatever the results will give you would be able to help the farmers or whoever wants to use this data to be actual in terms of what quantity to put in place, whether you boost the yield by increasing more, or if you increase more, your plants die as a result of toxicity and all those sort of things. So there are a lot of things that may come into play, but until we have the full data, we will not be able to tell you that this is what will happen or that will happen. Or if the soil of this type gives you a yield where you know that even the one where you don't apply anything is giving you good yield, then why bother to apply fertilizer? If you don't apply and it gives you the same yield as if you apply, then as a farmer you will not apply, because you will save your money where you don't have to buy chemical or organic manure and then get a yield. But
at any time, have you ever also experienced the, of course, intrusion of the pests or the insecticides or whatsoever?
Currently on this practice, I'm not applying any chemical fertilizer. What I'm doing is I deliberately have a space between And the location, as you see, I'm putting it inside the Gambia College Garden. So we have security. So the plants have not been affected by bigger pests. So the other pests, fortunately, have not also affected the crops. And eggplant is a very strong plant. It is a plant that can live for more than a year. Once it's having water, it can continue for even 2 years or so. So every farmer or anybody who have a small area of land can just grow 2 or 3 eggplants and be harvesting throughout your 2 years or so, instead of buying it from the market or saying there is no eggplant or no vegetables in the market.
Your colleagues who are also studying the same course may want to use this system that you are doing, because it is also important to be involved into whatsoever that you are learning. Any advice to those out there who thinks that experiment may not work on our environments?
For the PhD candidates that are currently at the University of the Gambia, all of us are doing experimental research. So the other PhD candidates that are into the social sciences, with them they may just collect data using focus group discussion or any of the other tools, social science tools that they want to use. But as agronomists, we are growing our crops. Different crops and different treatments are being considered by this thing. So I am the one that choose to do my research on eggplants. Others are doing it on onion, others on cowpea. So we are doing different things, others on maize. So eventually, our collective results will be able to improve or add to knowledge as far as the Gambian soil and weather conditions are concerned, and the various treatments that we have given to these crops.
And we are seeing this one that have already started yielding fruits here, and some of them are already touching the ground at this moment. What is the next activity of plan for you on this particular ground here?
Yeah, I've done my first harvest. So hopefully tomorrow I'll do my second harvest. Then after a fortnight, I do my third harvest. So I'll collect the data until I have the same number of collections that I have done last year. Then this. So with regards to the height of the plants have almost reached their maximum height. So I have been collecting it since 2 weeks after transplanting. Up to date, I've been collecting plant height. I've been collecting stem girth. This thing, that is the thickness of the stem. To be able to, eventually you will be able to compare plants that are taller, are they high in terms of yield, plants that have thicker stems, also whether they give. So you will be doing cross-checking of all those parameters that you are collecting, whether one affects the other, and the interrelationship between the parameters that you are collecting.
And finally, before I take a leave of you, I think you will still insist that this season you are not yet done on your data collection. But let me refer you back to last season. Which of these impressed you most? Is it the mixed manure of NPK and the poultry, or is it the poultry alone, or is it the NPK alone? Which of these has impressed you a lot?
From the evidences that we have from last year, I have my best harvest from the ones that had double the dose.
Oh.
Yeah.
Meaning you overdose them?
Yes, the ones that I overdosed by giving them double the recommended NPK and poultry manure, they gave me a lot more yield. This year, there might be some differences based on my observation, but I will not be able to tell you scientifically. This is just physical observation. There might be some differences between this year's yield and last year's yield, but time will tell.
And for last year and this year, were you maintaining the same ground? Was it here last year, or it was sifted?
No, I sifted, but it's on the same ground, but I sifted from one end of the garden to the other end. Yeah.
Okay. And finally, did you have any other thing to add on to what we discussed here today before sending the message to the agriculturists in whose garden we are today? Because we are seeing they are all under your purview. The School of Agriculture in the Gambia College are also growing different varieties here. Any other thing to add before we advise them?
Yeah, as far as this is concerned, all students who may want to pursue agriculture must bear in mind that agriculture is not just sitting in the classroom and not doing the thing. And for people who may think that education is something that stops when you finish your first degree or second degree, or when you have a very good job, or when you are ahead and no longer thinks of getting promotion, So sometimes it's not about that. Sometimes it's a matter of person that you continue to learn. So learning is never ending. I am Principal Gambia College. I could have said, yeah, I'm Principal Gambia College and close my eyes as far as education is concerned.
Nowadays, people are also very conscious of the government's appointments, and many people will say, he who puts on the shoe knows where exactly pinches. And people who have this degree and still working on this ground are the ones that perhaps our future or current government will be holding on to as ministers of agriculture. Do you have such a dream?
No, I am not a politician. As you know, I am an academic, and I am much more inclined towards adding to knowledge, working on improving whatever knowledge we need to disseminate. The Minister of Agriculture may not be well knowledgeable as far as agriculture is concerned, but they need technicians. The technocrats are the ones that are supposed to know what to give to government, because government implements the advices of the technocrats. So what we need to do is to get the scientists to do the work and then bring out the information. And based on that information, government formulates policies that will benefit the state. Currently, we do not have that crop of scientists enough that will be able to make research and give evidence-based, to produce evidence-based research and give, so that policies will be drawn from those research. Exactly. So until we are able to do that, being a minister and if I, like for instance, if I leave this place and go and become a minister and don't have any good number of advice that would help improve, still I will be like somebody who have not gone to school, because I need to be fed with information to be able to make policies. So without information being produced from the grassroots and given to the politicians and advise them on things that will benefit the population, we will continue to blame the politicians when we, the technocrats, are the ones probably that have failed the nation.
And like I said, in this garden, once you get inside here, walking on this ground, the students who are from the School of Agriculture looking at you as our main underboss will somehow be motivated to know that where you bend down and do the job by yourself, it keeps them active enough to also work on their beds. What final advice would you have for them, because you now share the same environment with them?
No, it's not only sharing the same environment with them. Gardening has been a passion. I always leave my office and come to the garden. In fact, some people will tease me and say, "Don't you think that you should have a table and a chair at the garden?" I said, as far as I'm within the college, I feel much more comfortable being near plants, because the plants give me hope. It gives me life. When they are newly transplanted, every day you see improvement. And as the garden gets greener, you become happier. So for me, I am from a farming family, and I'm happy being inside the plants.
Thank you very much, and I am sure we have learned a lot from this excerpt. That is the principal of the Gambia College, Mr. Jallow. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's a pleasure. And that is GMB TV. As we said, it is very important for us to note that he is the principal of the Gambia College. And the Gambia College consists of 4 different schools, but that doesn't keep him within the premises of his office. He is also a student who is trying to persuade on his PhD, but this is a ground Mr. Jallow has always been doing his testing. This is the 2nd consecutive year, as you heard from him. He talked about the importance of the manures, which we will definitely bring in this excerpt. He talked about the NPK mixture with that of the poultry. He've also talked about the double dose, and I think you've heard from him that the double dose is a very, very, very important aspect of it, because last season he has realized that the double dose have given him exactly the kind of yielding that he needed. This year round, he is yet to collect his final data analysis here, but to all other students who are at the Gambia University or any level trying to pursue this PhD degree, you have to understand that Mr. Jallow, the principal of the Gambia College, is involved on this particular ground here. He have labeled all the beds, as you can see, and every bed is being given a special treatment. So we hope him all the best, and all those who are also exercising on different angles in one way or the other. Just to remind you once again that this is GMEB TV. We thank our cameraman behind us, that is Mamadou P. Jallo. Thank you very much. And of course, to each and every one of you. Well, thank you. Still at the Gambia College. This is the poultry setup here at the Gambia College, and we will be having a very brief and short interview with Mr. Njai, the custodian of this particular environment. So this is the normal routine that we do. First, before you enter, for precaution measures, you have to put your leg on this particular ground or on this particular place in order for us to see. Thank you. And we are GMEB TV, and as you can see, this is the ground where we are right now. We have different poultries here, but first we will allow Mr. Njai to introduce himself to us first. Mr. Njai, good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. Can we know exactly which Mr. Njai we're talking to?
I am Mr. Ibrahim Njai, farm manager, Gambia College. The farm comprises of the poultry unit or the animal sector unit, the horticultural garden, the farm as well. We have a crop production area where we do farm. We have our taxon animals such as the horses and the donkeys.
You must be vast well enough in these angles, but today we are at the poultry farm, and as we can see, we have a lot of poultry here. To us who are new, the first thing we'll ask ourselves is, what kind of poultries are this here?
This is what they call broiler production. These are very short period. They take a maximum of 45 days or minimum of 45 days. Minimum of 45 days, you can have at least 1.8 or 2 kilograms. Yes, these are broiler. And then the specific breed is, how to call it? I forgot the breed. Okay. Yeah, but
they are broilers.
Yeah, they are broilers.
And they can take minimum of 45
days.
Yes, all right.
Minimum 45 days.
All right.
Yeah, 45 days, you can slaughter them.
Really?
Yes.
Within 45 days?
They are 4 weeks. Another 2 weeks, we will start slaughtering. Right now, for example, if we take an example, and then you just want to hold one of them, this will be roughly more than 1 kilogram. And this is only for 4 weeks. They just started their 5 weeks today. 4 weeks old.
It seems it weighs a lot.
Yes. They are just about 4 weeks. 4 weeks for all. Yes.
Mr. As the guy who is on this particular ground here at the Gambia College, sometimes people will be surprised to say we have a lot of them here. You know, the person taking care of this will not be that much standard to be counting them and knowing exactly how much is here. But everybody is an expert on his own area. Yeah. Do you sometimes count to know how much of them are here?
Yes, when they are coming in. Because even the broilers, or when you want to keep poultry, the first important thing is that you have to look at your stocking density. Stocking density here is tell you per meter square how many birds is needed. The size of the house will tell us 8 meters by 5 meters. That will tell me exactly how many birds do we need to stock here. So that stocking density is related to at the end of their growth period. Per meter square, per square meter, 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter, you need 50 to 80 birds per meter square. Per square meter. That is when they are old. But by now, they will require at least, we will need at least 10 birds per square meter. Yeah, per square meter. Yeah.
And we are also seeing some lights inside here. Yeah. What's the significance of this light? Does it mean they can even eat at night?
Move away from brooding. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, the brooding is done.
So after the brooding period, the lights will go off?
Exactly. Yeah, we can put the light off right now. We wouldn't have any problem with that. Yeah. Yeah, but sometimes if they are not very used to darkness, you subject them to darkness, they will have some problem.
What advice would you give to young aspirants who want to keep poultry but have this concept or belief that in the Gambia, managing poultry becomes very, very difficult? Before we go into their feedings?
This one, because like I said, 45 days. In a short period of time of 2 months, you can raise at least 500 bahts, whereby you can generate a revenue. You can generate a profit of $25,000 to $30,000 every 2 months. Every 2 months you can have that. $25,000 to $30,000 profit. But 45 days, the growing period is 45 days, or the maximum period is 2 months. The other 1 month or 3 weeks, you have to have a period whereby then if there is any disease cycle here, you wash and disinfect. Like when you are entering the poultry house, we have to put our foot into the disinfectant. We just use our normal bleach, the order survey, and then the Dettol. That's what we use, and then we pour here so that we try to disinfect. Yeah, so that we don't brought along any other disease.
So this is part of preventing intruders of the
Exactly. Yes, disinfectant. This is just to kill whatever material we want to brought in. So we want to make sure that they are very clean. We don't have any problem with them. And then they have 3 different types of feed. They have starter. Starter, each bird supposed to consume 1 kilogram.
At the starter period?
Yeah, the whole period. They will need starter, they will need grower, they will need finisher. Each bird needs to consume 4.5 kilograms per bird. So they will consume 1 kilogram of starter. And then they will consume 1.5 kilogram of grower. And then they will consume 2 kilograms of finisher. 2 plus 1.5 plus 1, that's 4.5 kilogram. Each bird supposed to consume, from day 1 up to the time we slaughter them, 4.5 kilograms.
So it means when the birds are being reared here, the first we go on, like you said, 3 different stage of feeding. That is the starter, the grower, and the finisher. How important is the grower? Because the word grower simply means food that can keep them grow.
That's the most critical period. That's the most critical period when we need to develop them, like our baby, when they need more nutritious food.
Well, some poultry managers will tell you that they fail at the starter level when they are also very young. It becomes very difficult to manage
because brooding is what is difficult. Brooding, they will require certain amount of heat. Before, when they first come, all these things were down. Everything was enclosed, and then we have our charcoal pot here where we will put fire.
Charcoal pot?
Yes.
So you need to generate heat for them?
Oh yes, during the brooding period, the first 2-3 weeks. Now that they have passed that, now they have, because at that point in time they cannot maintain their own body temperature. But once, because they are featherless, you have to give them that where the mother do. We have what they call natural brooding, we have what they call artificial brooding. So in the absence of the mother hen, then we have to provide whatever.
Okay, at the starter we normally see the mother hen always going hovering over the young one, so that is generating heat for them. So in essence, that is the heat that you are providing for them here.
The mother is not there now, we have to supplement. That's what we do. So we do that for 2 weeks to 3 weeks, and then we have just passed that stage. So the starter is finished, and then the starter has at least 23% of protein. So, but once you go the finisher, the protein level probably will go up to 16.
Because that's what I wanted to come up. We know the starter now. We also know the importance of the grower. And then finally the finisher. One might say maybe the finisher could be less expenditure, or is it just the ending part, one might say?
The ending part is just to put all the bits and pieces together. We give starter to grow. We give starter to boost. And from there we grow. And then the finisher just to paint and then just nourish finally. Yes. And then make it finished product.
I'm seeing some kind of timetable or marks here in this particular ground.
Yes.
In poultry management, do you do some record keeping?
Exactly. The record keeping is here. We have what they call, we have to keep the records and then give them whatever we want to do. For example, what we have, what is our mortality, what is the number of, and this is the medication program, what medication. So we have to give them all those things. That's what we are trying to look here. Yes. All right. Yes.
Finally, before we take a leave of you, Mr. Njai, we will say thank you very much for your expertise in trying to bring us on this ground. Apart from rearing these ones here, these things are in the School of Agriculture or in the Gambia College. How important is it to the students who are also learning poultry or agriculture is in the school here? Do they normally visit here? And if they are to do, how beneficiary is it to them?
Yes. Currently, I am the person who teaches poultry production. So I have to bring students here to know practically brooding. Brooding is the most difficult part. This is COP 500. The breed is COP 500. So initially I forgot the breed is COP 500.
COP 500.
Yeah, COP 500. I will bring in all the students here. They have to learn all aspects of it. And thank God now we have what they call, we have our where we do our finishing product, slaughtering. This is where we will do our slaughtering and dress them. We can just go out and then see that place. Because in as much as we talk about food security is important. Then we have to look at food safety as well. We want to produce. Whatever we want to produce has to be safe. That is also important. So that's why
when you say slaughtering and dressing, does it mean after slaughtering them, you put them like the normal chickens that we buy from the shops?
Oh yes, we do.
That would be locally produced chickens in the Gambia.
Oh yes.
And this is what many Pan-Africans are calling for.
We slaughter them. We dress them. All the students are taught how to do that. You'll take a knife and then slaughter them, and then we defeather them, and then we open them, remove all the offals, remove the heads, and then we pack them nicely, and then we put it into the freezer.
I believe in feeding what we made, and if that is the case, I think this would be very well known to the general public out there. And I know Gambians will prefer to buy locally dressed chickens in the Gambia here than buying it abroad. My question finally before we head to that place to just make a survey of it is, where do you get this? Because sometimes people say we get them outside and bring them in the country, and sometimes cross-country becomes a problem. And what are some of the effects, or what are some of the difficulties that you encounter in trying to bring them?
It's a pity. We have some people who deals directly. They link with this company. A man who lives all the way in Jarasoma by the name Sedikan. He is the one who connects somebody at Dhaka. He will send the money, and then the kicks will come. All the kicks will come from Dhaka and then come here and then arrive first thing in the morning. So virtually here, before they used to produce, but one reason for another, it has stopped. But
as an expert, do you think it's still possible for us to produce them here? Because during the COVID-19, we faced some problem like that, where chickens were not being able to come.
At Aboko, they are incubating. On the 29th, they're supposed to release some birds, about 29,000, so many thousands. Dembature. Yeah.
Let's quickly finish up on the, of course, dressing side there, where right now the work is progressing and going on there. That is just going to be the final summary of what we are talking about. Still, as you can see here, is the Gambia College, and like he said, after breeding them, you've heard about the kind of feedings they give them. This is the dressing side. This is the slaughtering environment for the poultry.
We slaughter, we come and dress them here, because we don't want to just teach students to go like that. Food security is very important. Food security, but food safety is another very important.
Mr. Njai, this place is just styled as if it is a man's land.
Yes, we will dress, we will slaughter them and then put them here, and then we start defeathering them, and then we open them. And we have our tap here, wherever we can do our processing and cleaning. Everything has to be clean. So we want to teach, we want to be standard with students.
So in dressing, you need water, because we can see some water running pipes down there.
Exactly. You use a lot of water, and then there is blood and things like that. You have to wash them, so that whatever is washed out, we want to use it as manure as well.
So it means nothing is thrown?
No, nothing is thrown.
Whatsoever that you get from this dressing side goes as manure?
Okay, all the dirt is going to be collected, and then we use it as manure.
This is awesome, Mr. Njai. Yes. Absolutely, I think it is
because
best.
This particular area, they are doing purely organic, no chemical fertilizer. This particular area is run by the SASA, Students Association of School of Agriculture. Yes. So once we have those bloods, or we have that, whatever materials, then we will be use them as manure.
We've learned a lot from you, Mr. Njai, and it's quite a pleasure having this excerpt with you. But of course, we will also want to thank you for the time that you have given us. And we are also hoping for this cooperation to continue. And any latest development here, GMEB TV will always try to be on the ground to show to the entire public out there that Gambia College is not just only a place to go and acquire the knowledge within the classrooms, but practically it is also important.
Very soon we're going to have our small ruminants.
And don't you think this will make the poultry section much sought after area? Because many people would love to specialize that.
Because 300 birds is not enough for the college. I've been working here since 1991. January 15, 1991. Then we used to order 1,000 birds, 2,000 birds, broilers. Now we are just 300 because the poultry house went down. But we started now, is coming. The last batch we just finished a month ago, that was 450 birds. but this one is 300 baht. Immediately this one is finished again, we're going to bring in another one. We want to make it a continuous process, whereby we teach students, whereby we are able to sell and then generate some fund for the college as well. But the whole idea is for teaching purpose. Yeah.
I know it's for teaching purpose, but with this insight that you have given us, with the fact that somebody could rear these birds and become very rich in it, I only hope my little followers will not divert their courses to poultry.
Yes, absolutely. It's very cheap. It's very cheap, and all what you need is maximum 50, 60, $70,000. You can start off and then go. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Njai.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Okay. That is Mr. Njai, the general farm manager here at the Gambia College. Like he said, they are involved in different, that is in poultry, in other animals rearing and other things. But today we are focusing on the poultry. You've heard about him, and he is an expert in his area. He has already explained to us the kind of food that this poultry needed, the time span that they needed. 45 days alone, you can have your very matured one. So at least I think it is a hot market, and it is turning to be a hot market. To many of you, that says we consume what we don't know where it comes from. Now we have a chance to consume what is locally produced in the Gambia. Thank you very much for following GMB TV. Mamadou P. Jallo is our cameraman, and to my colleagues as well who have also been with me, thank you.
Audio Jungle.